My name is Cynthia. Standing on the porch of my grandmother's house, now also the new satellite office of a real estate firm, I watched as Madison, my sister, stepped out of her car. Her face went through a series of expressions: confusion, disbelief, and finally, something close to horror when she realized this was the place she'd be working from now on. It all started with my grandmother's passing. I grew up in a family where I was constantly in the shadow of my sister, Vivian. Our parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, were deeply involved in high society circles. My father was a successful stockbroker, always driven by money and status, and my mother was a socialite who cared more about appearances. Vivian was their golden child. At 28, she was already a rising star at Sterling Real Estate, a well-known real estate company in the city. She was ambitious, confident, and always in the spotlight. I, on the other hand, chose to be an elementary school teacher. My parents never hid their disappointment in my career choice. At family gatherings, everyone would flock around Vivian, asking about her latest deals and luxurious lifestyle, while I was left unnoticed in the corner. Grandmother Rose was different. She saw the real me. Every Sunday, I'd visit her beautiful colonial house in the suburbs. We'd sit on the porch, sipping lemonade as she told me stories from her youth. "Cynthia, you have a quiet strength that people often overlook," she'd say. When grandmother was diagnosed with terminal cancer, Vivian was too busy with her work to visit. My parents came once, made some excuses about how hard it was to see her like that, and then never returned. I decided to take a leave from teaching and moved in with her. For 4 years, I took care of her, administering medications, cooking her favorite meals, and holding her hand through the long, painful nights. My mother once called and said, "You're wasting your time, Cynthia. She doesn't have much to leave you." I hung up without a word. Grandmother passed away on a sunny morning in June. Before she died, she whispered, "I've prepared something for you. Don't let anyone take it." I didn't understand until 3 weeks after the funeral, when we gathered at the law office. Mr. Harris, grandmother's lawyer, read the will. To everyone's shock, especially Vivian's, the house, worth $800,000, was left to me. Vivian's face turned red with anger. "There must be a mistake. Grandma wasn't in her right mind," she snapped. Mr. Harris assured her that the will was legal and valid. The pressure started soon after. My parents showed up unannounced at the house. "We need to talk about the house," my father said. "It's not right for one person to keep it all. Family should share. Vivian needs a place for her future plans." I asked about my future, and my mother replied, "You're a teacher. You don't need a house like this." For the next 2 weeks, they took turns trying to convince me. My father threatened to cut me off from the family, and my mother cried, saying I was tearing the family apart. Then came the so-called family meeting. My parents arrived early, sitting in the living room chairs like judges. Vivian showed up late, in a designer suit that probably cost more than my monthly salary. She didn't apologize. My father pulled out a sales agreement, saying I should sell the house to Vivian for $200,000. I looked at the price and then at my father. "The market value is $800,000, I said. Vivian laughed mockingly. "Market value? Do you even understand real estate? I work in this industry. $200,000 is a generous family price." The conversation went in circles. Every time I objected, they had a counter-argument. After Vivian and my father left, my mother stayed. She started crying, saying I was ruining the family. I told her I couldn't sell what grandmother trusted me to protect. She gave me a week to change my mind, or I'd no longer be part of the family. That night, Vivian called me. Her voice was cold and threatening. "You don't know who you're dealing with. I have connections in this industry. I can make your life difficult. You work at a public school. It'd be easy to raise questions about your competence." I was scared, but then I remembered grandmother's words. I opened the sealed envelope she'd left me. Inside was a letter and a business card of Ms. Grace Miller, a real estate expert. I called her the next day and told her everything. Ms. Miller introduced me to the concept of a sale-leaseback agreement. Just then, She revealed that Sterling Real Estate CEO, Mr. Alexander Sterling, was looking for a property in this exact neighborhood to set up a satellite office. I was hesitant at first, but then I realized the irony. Vivian worked for a company whose CEO wanted my house. I decided to go ahead with the deal. My parents held a family dinner, hoping to humiliate me in front of all our relatives. Halfway through the meal, my father stood up and announced that I'd refused to share the house with Vivian. Everyone looked at me disapprovingly. Vivian stood up and belittled my teaching career, saying I didn't understand real estate or building wealth. But this time, I didn't back down. I stood up, looked at each of them, and said, "Thank you for showing me where I stand in this family." Then I walked out. 2 weeks later, Mr. Alexander Sterling came to the house. He was impressed by the property and my dedication to grandmother. I told him about Vivian being my sister, and he said he didn't let personal drama affect his business decisions. We finalized the sale-leaseback agreement. I sold the house at full market value and negotiated a 12-year lease to keep living in the upper floors. Mr. Sterling also announced that Vivian would be assigned to the new satellite office. On the opening night of the office, I watched as Vivian arrived. When she saw the house, her face was a picture of shock. I greeted her from the porch. "Welcome to the new office, Vivian." After that, word spread quickly at Sterling Real Estate. Vivian's colleagues treated her differently, and she lost the control she was used to. My parents stopped calling for a few months. Then one Sunday morning, my mother called. Her voice was softer. She asked about me and said the house looked nice. She also said grandmother would be proud of me. We decided to have lunch together. 6 months later, Vivian came to see me. She said she wanted to rebuild our relationship and also asked if I could talk to Mr. Sterling about adjusting her office rotation. I told her that being sisters was about respect, not contracts. Now a year has passed. I still teach at the elementary school. I wake up every morning in the house that holds so many memories. The ground floor is busy with the office during the day, and at night, it's quiet again. I've learned that true strength comes from knowing your worth and standing up for what's rightfully yours.